Now, over the last couple of years, we've worked on the next release of these standards. And it's been a privilege working with about 40 different members of the video advertising industry to come out with these next versions. And as Randolph mentioned this morning, we're happy to announce the next versions of VAST and VPAID, so VAST 3 and VPAID 2, and this new standard that we're calling VMAP, VMAP 1.0. And we think that these three standards that we've called the Video Suite or V Suite are going to strengthen the video advertising infrastructure that has already been adopted by pretty much everyone in this space. So let's take a look and see at how these three standards work. And I wanted to come up with a very easy way to explain how these three specs actually interoperate and work together. So I like watching football, or I should say European football. And when you sit down to watch anything online these days, you see ads. Now, this ad experience of watching a pre-roll and then a couple of mid-rolls and then potentially post-roll, VMAP lets you define the ad experience. So the number of breaks, when the breaks occur, how many ads should appear in a break, what kind of stuff should happen in that break. So VMAP defines that experience. VAST simply defines the video ad response for one of those breaks, whether it's a pod of ads like on TV or a single ad. So you have VMAP that defines the experience. You have VAST that defines one of those slots. And then you have this thing called VPAID that describes how an interactive ad talks to the video player. So if you have an overlay and you click on the overlay, you want to make sure the video content pauses so that when that expanded overlay covers the video viewing experience, there is no conflict between what the user should pay attention to. So everyone clear on how these three things work together? Yes? No? Nods, kind of. OK, so VMAP, VAST, and VPAID. And the way you can think about VMAP and VAST, that it's really like the grammar and spelling rules for the language of video advertising. And VPAID future-proofs that language by allowing for new ad formats or ad units to enter that dictionary. That's kind of the best way to think about these three standards. Now, let's talk about what's new. And there is tons and tons of stuff that we've put out in these specs. We've worked on these things for over a year. We've had hours and hours of committee meetings. But let me just focus on a couple of things. These were announced in the press release this morning. And I think these are the ones that most of the people in this room are probably going to care about. So you guys heard enough about skippable ads already. But skippable ads are supported in these new versions. There are new pricing models that can go with skippable ads. And from a user experience perspective, we've seen positive things. So that's the first thing. And VAST and VPAID support skippable ads. VMAP doesn't really relate to this new addition. Now, podding. So pods are just a sequence of ads back to back, like on TV. So VAST now supports podding. So in the past, it wasn't very clear what it meant if a VAST response had multiple ads in it. Now we've actually clarified that and said, if you put some sequence numbers on the ads, you're actually sending back a pod. So we've introduced podding. Better support for devices. So it was very difficult to figure out how to use VPAID in an HTML5 environment. So we came up with a way to use VPAID in an HTML5 environment, and we now support iOS and run in a bunch of connected TV environments. Error reporting. So we've introduced about 20 times more error reports and error codes so that publishers and advertisers know when things go wrong. This has been a huge ask. Compliance. So it used to be the case that if you said you were VAST compliant, it meant whatever you thought it meant. Support the whole thing, support half of it, support the opening paragraph. So we've came up with these compliance categories. So if you say you're VAST compliant, you should also specify what categories you're compliant against. Do you support only linear or nonlinear or companions? And so hopefully that'll make it easier for advertisers to know what kind of support exists among publishers. In-ads privacy notice. So we've added support for this. Those little icons you see, the ad choices icons and different types of icons. This is great for consumers so they can get more information about the privacy implications of the ads that they see online. And there's support both in VPAID and VAST 3 for this new feature. And control the ad experience. So with VMAP, both content owners and distributors can control the ad experience, especially in environments where they don't control the video player.